It's that time again. It's time for another Saturday night special where we talk about everything rockhounding related. Hope you all had a fabulous week. I managed to, get done a bunch of reading this week, which for me is really beneficial, and I'd like to share with you why exactly. So last week on the Saturday night special, I said I love it when I get to see people's different takes on similar subjects. Now, this could be let's say, a shop tour, right? If I show my kind of workshop, lapidary shop, and another content creator shows their lapidary shop, well, hey, we have very different things going on, even though it's a little similar, you know? Or our locations. Locations are another one. You know, if I go out to the Yellowstone River in Montana and look for agates, my video is going to be very different from 406, Katie did, Theo, you know, we all would have our own different commentary and take on that spot. That said, you know, there is a certain amount of copy and paste happening in YouTube world, and it's been going on for a long time. And it's not fun to be on the receiving end of it. And it kind of looks like somebody copying verbatim your words, your titles, your thumbnails, everything. And it feels icky to be on the receiving end of that, you know, like somebody took something from you. And I think some of this has to do with the lack of ideas. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight is I wanted to talk about where I kind of get my ideas for these videos, for the adventures I go on with Sarah and the dog, and how you, the viewer here, could do something similar if you so chose. You know, we've talked about guidebooks, and that's kind of really a starting point. Now, really, if you want to come up with unique, different, and forgotten about places to go to look for rocks, minerals, you're going to have to look back in time. Sometimes quite far, sometimes very far. And I have some examples of that this evening that I would like to share with you. First off, I would like to talk about a subject near and dear to my heart, and that is the world of zeolites. Okay. Now, initially, my fascination with zeolites as the mineral group, like this piece right here, was because they're very abundant, and I wanted to learn more. And I picked up a book. And then this book is somewhat dated, very helpful for the identification, different locations. And without that book, I would not have found this piece of kabazite right here. Very beautiful piece. Well, I want to take it a step farther. I want to go farther back in time. As I trace back the author, Rudy's words, the things that he's written, I found the microprobe. The microprobe. Now this right here is a gold mine. A literal gold mine of spots, information. I'm very, very happy. So right here, we start in April 1971, and this goes up to 1993. Now, the microprobe is still being made. That's as far as I've read. I've read 71 to 93. And the amount of information I've learned from this is, it's very mind-blowing, to say the least. Well, when I'm coming up with ideas for stuff, I'm taking all these different bits from different places, different things that I've learned, and I'm combining them all together. So I'm not really ever coming up with anything truly original. I'm taking little bits and pieces here and putting them together. So I really have like 10 lifetimes of projects in the shop, videos that I could make, places to go, things to explore, you name it, you know. Think of it about it like a cake, right? Like almost all cakes are flour based. They have sugar. You know, how you combine different ingredients changes the final end result and outcome. No need to have to copy things. This is amazing. Now, I first saw this on one of Lapidary Dave's videos that he did in Tucson at the Mindat booth. The best hand-selected 17 years of the Lapidary Journal. Now, talk about an assortment of killer ideas. Let's look at a couple of these. How about that rock saw right there? You want to cut a log? There, hey, you know, it's got an article on wire saws. How about a big drag saw? How about that? You want to make that? Here's an article for you. This is just, you know, amazing ideas. Of course, I gravitate towards the equipment. This giant saw for cutting jade boulders. You know, I'm going to drop a link down to this, and you can go check it out. It's actually quite prevalent in like libraries and stuff. A 72-inch mud saw. Mud saws are something interesting that you don't really hear a whole lot about. A mud saw uses like grit, like, you know, 60-90 type grit that you would have for rock tumbling, that type of thing, and just a straight up metal disc. So there's no diamonds or anything like that. And it drips down, and the spinning disc just brings that grit through the kerf, the cut of the rock. But like, you know, it's very wild to see some principles of polishing. There's a lot of polishing advice in here, which, you know, depending on where you're at, that could be good. How about a wooden lap? You want to make a wood lap? You know, like, these are all amazing ideas. Yeah, you know, this guy's article on cutting cabochons. There's just a lot of here, a lot of treasure from the past. And that's really what I want to get, you know, kind of the point that I'm trying to make is there's just so much out there for you to consume and read. One thing that I recently was turned on to by a friend, the Northwest Mineral News, August, September, 1955. Picked this guy up on eBay, and it is worth it. I love it. Like, you know, people would be like, oh, the heyday of rockhounding and stuff is now, and I 100% disagree. We have nothing like this anymore. This is a thing from the past, you know. It's beautiful. Let me, you know, when I first got this and started to flip through it, I'm like, oh, like, this is so cool. And this has already given me a number of ideas. There's actually an article in here on Oregon zeolites, which is very cool, and it does talk about some locations that are very forgotten. So does the microprobe. This is a little flyer from a rock shop that was in this. I didn't know it was coming with that, but it's all about Harney County down in Oregon. And this was probably just, you know, at this rock shop, you could probably give them away for free as like a little bit of a flyer promotion thing. And we got a little write-up about all the stuff that you can find, and a little map on the back. And I love this type of like classic, I don't know, rock hounding memorabilia. It inspires me. Like, you know, I got this and I'm like, oh, Harney County, I gotta get down there. Like, we gotta spend some more time down there and yeah, do some rock hounding. And who knows, maybe I'll do a Harney County trip here shortly. But my point being, there's a lot out there. There's no need to copy people when you can be like, oh, Harney County? Oh, I haven't thought of that lately. Oh, wait, what zeolites are in Harney County? Huh, interesting. Like, you take these things, you combine them together, you know? That's how I like to operate personally. This past week as well, it's been a little bit, but Sarah put up a trip report on the website. It's been a while because we haven't been doing many trips, being that it is, well, winter, but now we are coming into spring, people. Springtime is here, and I love it. I love it. We just so happened to be in Ellensburg, Washington for the afternoon, and we went to Central Washington University, their Discovery Hall. And their Discovery Hall is very cool, okay? If you're ever in the middle of Washington in Ellensburg, go there and check it out. They have like a cool timeline in one of the hallways. It's very long, and it's a geological timeline of the world. And there's neat rocks, there's beautiful rock displays in there, petrified wood. There's an amazing display of Ellensburg blue agate inclusions with like great photos under the microscope. I really enjoyed it. Go check out the trip report. I'm going to throw a link down below to the trip report. Yeah, I can't stress enough, right, how important it is to find these things that appeal to you. Now, we've kind of focused a little bit on zeolites here, but that doesn't have to be the case. There's all kinds of stuff, you know, and me being in Washington, I definitely lean towards the Northwest materials, Northwest things, but every state, every region has your own kind of micro probe. You have these old newsletters, you have stuff that you can go and hunt down, and, you know, whether it be agates, petrified wood, fossils, zeolites, different other, you know, other minerals, fossils, and you can go places and kind of refine things that maybe some people haven't been to in decades. And it's a lot of fun, and I almost enjoy that an equal amount to the actual like rock hounding that we go and do. Speaking of the rock hounding, we're fixing to get back into the swing of the typical season. If you scroll back on the channel 6 months, well, you know, out in the great outdoors, enjoying life, camping, all of that good stuff. As I film this right now, you know, it's like over 55 degrees out here in the shop. Amazing, amazing weather. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming by, hanging out with me in the shop. I'll drop some links down below to some different stuff. If you live in the Pacific Northwest, go find some newsletters. The Ore Bin's another one that you might like. And we'll leave this one here. Thanks, y'all.